When the storm couldn't break you, they called you the storm. Chosen one, they didn't just try to stop you. They came with fire, with lies, with every tactic they could think of. And still, you're here, breathing, standing, rising. That alone is proof of who you are. And make no mistake, they didn't fail because they were weak. They failed because the universe stands behind those it chooses. They weren't fighting you. They were fighting a force far beyond them. And now, they're haunted by the fact that every time they try to crush you, you come back louder, stronger, more focused. They've whispered about you in rooms you've never entered, tried to bury your name with rumors and shade. But the funny thing is, you don't bury light. You just force it to shine brighter. Before we go further, do your part in this mission. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share it with another chosen one. When you do, you help this message reach others who need to hear it. Others who feel the weight of the world on their shoulders and still keep going. This is more than a message. It's a signal to the universe. When you engage, you amplify this light, and YouTube recognizes it. That's how we awaken more of the chosen. Now let's talk about who you really are. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't made to walk the easy path. The moment the universe chose you, the game changed. You were marked, not for struggle, but for strength, not for suffering, but for awakening. That mark unsettles people. It shakes their illusions. Your very presence disrupts comfort zones. You don't even have to speak, and still, your energy makes people uncomfortable. That's not arrogance. That's reality. You've probably noticed it since you were young. People watching you like you're something strange. Teachers treating you different. Friends flipping into enemies for no clear reason. Opportunities slipping through for others, but showing up with resistance when it's your turn. That's not random. That's not bad luck. That's what happens when the universe puts a rare fire inside someone and sends them into a world soaked in fear. People will try to dim you because your light exposes everything they've been hiding. You don't just walk into a room, you confront every lie, every mask, every insecurity just by being. That's why they talk behind your back. That's why they try to make you doubt yourself. Because if you ever fully realize what's inside of you, their illusion falls apart. But listen closely now. The worst mistake a chosen one can make is forgetting that they're chosen. You are not alone. You were never meant to fight this war in silence. The universe has been backing you the whole time. Every time someone betrayed you, the universe exposed what was fake. Every time a door slammed shut, it was a redirection, not a rejection. They were never winning. They were being used. Tools to sharpen you, voices to train your ears to hear the truth beyond the noise. Being chosen is not a title. It's a responsibility. It's a fire that never goes out, and it scares them. Not because they understand it, but because they can feel it. They feel the pull of your power before you even speak. Your success terrifies them. Not because you brag, but because it proves that you can't be broken. And that kind of proof is dangerous in a world full of masks. They tried to break you. They failed. They will try again. And they will fail again. Because this isn't about them. This is about you, and the universe doesn't choose by mistake. Before we dive in deeper, pause for a moment. If this message is hitting something real inside you, it's not by accident. It means you're one of us, one of the few. The world tried to shut you down, yet you're still here. That's not weakness, that's proof. So do this. Drop the number 77 in the comments if you're done playing small, done doubting your power, and ready to rise into everything they tried to crush. This isn't just a video, it's a turning point. And now, let's get into it step by step. Stay with me. If you're truly chosen, you won't be able to look away. Number 1. When you carry fire, don't be shocked when the shadows attack. They hated the flame, but it was the cold in their souls that screamed the loudest. Let's not sugarcoat it. If you've been attacked, dragged, doubted, or quietly targeted in ways you can't even explain, you're not paranoid, you're powerful, and they felt it before you even knew it yourself. You're not being attacked because you're weak. You're being attacked because you're a threat. Your light, your growth, your ability to keep rising, that rattles people. It reminds them of everything they've tried to suppress in themselves. And so, instead of facing their own shadows, they tried to dim yours. Fear is the first spark. They fear what doesn't fit into their small, controlled boxes. You, chosen one, don't play by the usual rules. You question things. You see through people. You move differently. You don't fake smiles just to survive. That level of authenticity, it terrifies them because it exposes what they are not. And instead of growing, they attack. It's a reflex, like rats scattering when light hits the room. It's not about you, personally. It's about what your existence represents. You're a walking reminder that truth still exists in a world built on masks. Jealousy is the next poison they throw. You've probably noticed how your wins don't sit well with certain people, even small ones. The moment you start moving in your purpose, you'll hear the whispers. Who does he think he is? Why her? But what they're really saying is, why not me? Your progress, your clarity, your glow. It's a mirror to their stagnation. And instead of asking why they're stuck, they project that resentment onto you. They don't want your downfall. They need it, because your success makes their excuses crumble. But here's the truth they can't handle. You didn't choose to be chosen. The universe made that call. You were selected, not for comfort, but for impact. And when the universe backs you, every attack becomes a lesson. Every betrayal becomes redirection. Every loss becomes power. The very system they're fighting, it's not just protecting you, it's shaping you. So to the chosen one doubting themselves right now, stop it. You think you're being punished when really you're being positioned. You're being trained in private for a future they won't be able to ignore. Your isolation isn't abandonment. It's preparation. And those people who turned on you, don't hate them. Just understand, they weren't attacking you. They were trying to fight a current far bigger than them. They picked a war with the universe, and now they're drowning in confusion. That's not your guilt to carry. That's their karma to live with. And to the enemies watching, let this sink in. You didn't break them. You revealed them. You thought if you lied enough, they'd fall. If you isolated them enough, they'd fold. But what you didn't know is that chosen ones don't get buried. They get replanted. And every time you tried to suffocate them, they grew deeper roots. Stronger ones. Ones that now reach into something cosmic, something you can't touch. Metaphorically, they're the sun. You can curse it all day, but you'll never dim it. You'll just stay in the shadows. You can gossip, sabotage, manipulate. But the light? It's relentless. It keeps showing up, just like they do. And you, chosen one, need to remember who the hell you are. Every time you second-guess your path, you give power to the very voices that try to destroy you. Every time you shrink to make others comfortable, you betray the fire inside you. This is not the time for that. This is the time to rise so loudly that even your silence becomes a roar. You weren't sent here to be liked. You were sent here to lead, to expose, to shift the energy in every room you walk into. That's why you've been attacked. That's why they've tried to break you down. But the universe isn't random, and it doesn't waste energy on the unprepared. You were called because you can handle it, you can carry it, and whether they like it or not, you will. They will try again, and they will fail again, because you don't walk alone. Every step you take in truth, the universe walks with you, and there's no weapon, no rumor, no rejection strong enough to rewrite what you were born to become. So walk on, chosen one. Walk like fire. Walk like prophecy in motion. Walk like the war has already been won, because it has. Number 2, they can plot all they want, but you're wired to win. A chosen one doesn't dodge the storm. They are the storm, and the reason the winds change. Let's get one thing straight. They can scheme, lie, sabotage, and smear your name through every alley they crawl in. It won't matter, because what's inside you isn't built on their opinions. It's not built on their approval. It's not even built on their acceptance. What's inside you was chosen, forged, and protected by something far bigger, something they'll never understand, because they were never called to carry it. You will always prevail. Not maybe, not eventually, always. They've tried to wear you down, haven't they? Tried to paint you as the villain, tried to make others question your motives, your heart, your strength. You've watched people you trusted suddenly become silent, distant, cold, all because whispers reached their ears before your truth did. But what they don't realize is that chosen ones are forged in that exact fire. You don't just survive adversity, you transform through it, you alchemize it. The very attacks meant to break you are the bricks you stand on. And every time you rise, your enemies lose a little more faith in their own illusions. See, when you carry something powerful, you trigger people's insecurities like a live wire. They see you walk in peace, and it shatters their false sense of control. You move with clarity, and suddenly their confusion feels louder. You dream big, and it reminds them how small they've settled. That's why they come for you. Not because you've wronged them, but because your very existence confronts their comfort zones. And don't let the tactics fool you. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's subtle, cowardly, backhanded compliments, innocent shade, quiet competition masked as friendship. They won't always throw punches. Some will just hope you trip. But no matter how they come, the result is always the same. They lose because you don't fold under pressure. You form diamonds from it. And that's what they don't get. The more they push, the deeper your roots grow. The more they talk, the sharper your vision becomes. The more they try to tear you down, the more the universe rearranges everything to elevate you right in front of them. They think they're fighting you, but they're fighting alignment. They're fighting momentum. They're fighting the very force that put you here in the first place. Listen closely. Being chosen doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It means you've been given strength others weren't trusted with. And yes, it gets lonely. Yes, it gets painful. Yes, the attacks feel personal. But what you must remember is that your path isn't about being understood. It's about being undeniable. You weren't placed here to fit in. You were placed here to stand out, to disturb everything false, to shatter illusions, to wake people up just by walking in truth. So stop being surprised when people turn on you. Stop acting shocked when they try to bring you down. That's their job. That's their assignment. Your job is to keep walking, keep building, keep evolving. Let their confusion fuel your clarity. Let their resistance reveal your resilience. Let their attacks expose how chosen you really are. You need to stop questioning your strength every time someone else feels weak around it. You need to stop shrinking because others are afraid of your full height. You weren't chosen to make people comfortable. You were chosen to challenge the very systems they worship. And yes, that makes you a target. But it also makes you untouchable in ways they'll never grasp. And the best part, every single time they think they've won, when they celebrate your silence, when they mistake your rest for retreat, when they misread your patience as defeat, you come back, bigger, wiser, bolder, and suddenly their little world starts shaking again. This is your pattern. This is your cycle. You rise, you rise, you rise, even when you don't feel like it, even when the wounds are fresh, even when no one's clapping, you still rise. That's the curse and the crown of being chosen. You will always prevail, not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. You're connected to something that doesn't just protect you, it propels you. Something that rearranges reality to make room for your purpose. Something that exposes every fake hand before it can touch you. Something that turns every failure into foundation. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them think they've got you figured out. Because the moment they think they've got you down is the moment you rise higher than ever. And that is the part they'll never see coming. Because while they were busy playing games, you became the game changer. You weren't born to fall. You were born to finish what they never had the courage to begin. Number 3. They couldn't compete with you, so they tried to corrupt the field. When they realized they couldn't match your power, they plotted in the shadows, hoping you'd forget you were born to walk in light. Let's get into the tactics, because it's time you see the enemy for what it is: weakness in disguise. They didn't come at you because you're wrong. They came at you because you're right. Right in your energy, right in your purpose, right in your alignment. And that alone made you a threat. So instead of leveling up, they slithered low. Instead of elevating themselves, they dragged their envy through every hallway, hoping to stain your name before your light could reach the next room. And one of their oldest tricks, criticism masked as concern. The moment you start shining, here come the unsolicited opinions. You're doing too much. That's not realistic. You've changed. Of course you've changed. You evolved. You grew. You outgrew the box they wanted you trapped in, and that scares them. So they nitpick. They point out flaws that don't exist. They magnify your missteps and ignore your milestones. It's never really about what you did wrong. It's about the fact that you dared to do anything at all. They want you questioning yourself. They want you to pause, to overthink, to freeze under the weight of self-doubt they planted. That's the game. If they can't stop you physically, they'll try to stop you mentally. They'll try to get you to sabotage your own mission by whispering doubt into your own head. But listen carefully. Your mind is your kingdom. And the moment you stop letting unworthy voices speak in it, everything changes. But they don't stop there. When criticism doesn't work, they reach for something even lower: rumors, lies, misinformation. This is how cowards fight wars. They know they can't win face to face. They twist narratives, weaponize half-truths, plant seeds of mistrust in the minds of those around you. They'll take your silence and paint it as guilt. They'll take your confidence and call it arrogance. They'll rewrite history just to make sure the story doesn't end with you winning. And what hurts most? Sometimes the people you thought had your back start believing them. That's the aim. Isolation. If they can't beat you, they'll try to make you feel alone, cut off, misunderstood, disconnected from the ones who once supported you. But here's what they don't know. Chosen ones don't need crowds to validate them. They don't need applause to keep going. They were built for the dark. They thrive in silence. When the room empties out and the lights go cold, that's when the real power kicks in. Still, the attacks evolve. When criticism and rumors don't knock you off course, they come for your work, your progress, your momentum, sabotage. That's when they get real bold. They start moving in the background, quietly undermining you, copying your ideas, inserting just enough friction to slow you down. They'll smile to your face and steal behind your back. They'll try to take credit for what you bled to build. They'll let you take the fall for mistakes they made. They'll twist situations so that when it all hits the fan, the blame somehow ends up on you. Why? Because the thought of you rising burns them alive. Because they know deep down that without those underhanded tricks, you'd already be too far ahead to catch. They don't just want to win, they want you to lose. Because your loss soothes their mediocrity. Because seeing you discouraged gives them life. And make no mistake, that's their goal. Not just to slow you down, but to crush your spirit, to make you quit, to make you question why you even started. But they keep forgetting something. You were chosen for a reason. The universe didn't pick you for comfort. It picked you for resistance, for resilience, for rebirth. And everything they're doing, every tactic, every whisper, every attempt to tear down your foundation is only proving one thing. You matter more than you know. You don't attack what doesn't threaten you, and clearly you're a threat on a level they can't explain. So the next time they try to come for you with these weak tactics, stand tall, don't flinch, recognize the strategy and smile. Because the moment they stoop that low, it means you've already risen high enough to rattle their cages. That's not failure. That's confirmation. Let them criticize. You're still climbing. Let them lie. Truth travels slow, but it hits harder. Let them sabotage. The universe rewires every trap to bless you anyway. Their tactics are loud, but your purpose roars louder. And it's only a matter of time before everything they did to stop you becomes the very thing that pushed you further. You don't just survive the attacks, chosen one. You turn them into fuel. And in the end, while they're still talking, you'll be walking across finish lines they never had the courage to approach. Number 4, the quiet war, how they isolate the chosen without you even noticing. They didn't need to break your body. They just had to convince you that no one would catch you when you fell. Not every attack is loud. Not every enemy screams. Some of the most dangerous moves they make against you are silent, slow, and disguised as love, concern, or even loyalty. These are the lesser-known attacks, the psychological warfare designed not to destroy your body, but to erode your spirit. And if you're not awake, if you're not locked into your awareness as a chosen one, these attacks won't just hurt. You'll start to believe they're your fault. This is how they really get you. Isolation. No, not physical chains, not open rejection. Something far more sinister, the quiet dismantling of your support system. You'll look around one day and realize you're standing alone, not because you pushed anyone away, but because they orchestrated every subtle step that pulled others from your side. And you didn't even see it happening. That's the genius of their design. It's never a full-blown war. It's one whispered lie here, one misinterpreted moment there. And before long, the people who once had your back start stepping away, confused, unsure, misinformed. Understand this. Chosen ones are meant to be surrounded by light, real support, real energy, real people who get it. So when you start losing that, that's no coincidence. That's not life randomly turning on you. That's an attack. They will fabricate drama between you and your closest allies. They'll plant seeds of mistrust. Suddenly, your best friend is giving you side eyes. Your family is cold. Your team isn't calling back. Why? Because someone made it their mission to shift how they see you. And the worst part? They make you look like the problem. They paint you as distant, selfish, arrogant. They twist your confidence into ego, your clarity into rudeness. And the people who should know your heart start forgetting it. And when they can't divide you from your circle, they use another move: emotional monopolization. They'll cling to you, drain you, demand your time and energy under the guise of needing help. They'll pose as the one who gets you, the only one who really supports you. But their real goal: cutting off your access to anyone else who actually does. They want to be your only source of validation, your only comfort, your only ear, because if they isolate you from all other voices, they can control the story, they can shape your reality. That's not love. That's manipulation in its purest form. And it's deadly to chosen ones because our power thrives in community, in clear connection, in spiritual reinforcement. Starve us of that, and even a giant starts to feel small. You might be thinking, but they weren't outright attacking me. Maybe they didn't mean harm. That's the trap. The lesser-known attacks aren't obvious. They come wrapped in kindness, in false loyalty, in, "I'm only telling you this because I care." But every word, every move, every manipulation is pulling you away from your truth. Every tactic is designed to unplug you from your power grid, from the people and places that recharge your soul. And once you're isolated, the next step is simple. They watch you unravel. Doubt creeps in. Fear amplifies. You start wondering if you're really chosen at all. You start second-guessing your worth, your path, your vision. Why? Because humans are wired for connection. Even chosen ones need mirrors, need affirmation, need grounding. And without it, your flame starts to flicker. But let me be crystal clear. If you're feeling that isolation now, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're a threat. Isolation is a signal. The enemy doesn't isolate the irrelevant. They isolate the dangerous. And that's you. So don't fold into loneliness. Translate it. See it for what it is. A move meant to strip you of your strength so you forget who you are. And to the chosen one who has already been pulled away, who's been doubting, shrinking, silencing themselves just to survive, you can reconnect. You can rebuild. You can protect your energy without disconnecting from your lifelines. Start identifying the real ones, the ones who speak to your soul, not at it. The ones who help you remember, not make you forget. Because isolation only wins when you believe the lie that you're alone. You are not. The universe didn't choose you to walk this path in silence forever. Yes, there are seasons where you're pulled away to be sharpened, molded, tested. But that's not the end. That's the training ground. And when it's done, you're meant to return, not broken, but unbreakable. Surrounded not by the many, but by the true. So recognize the lesser-known attacks for what they are. Desperate moves by those who fear your awakening. Because once you reconnect with your real circle, once you remember the frequency you belong to, nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop your rise. Let them play their games. You're learning the code. Let them spread their lies. You're tuning into the truth. Let them try to isolate you. The real ones will find you. And when they do, everything changes. Number 5, they study your cracks because they can't handle your foundation. Your weakness isn't the danger. It's their obsession with it that exposes their own. Let's talk about the real warfare, the one that hits when you're quiet, tired, and just trying to breathe. They've tried everything else. Public attacks didn't work. Rumors only made you more powerful. Sabotage fell flat. So now they get surgical. Now they focus on the inside, on your fears, your doubts, your quiet insecurities. They watch, wait, and strike where you're most tender. Because if they can't destroy the house from the outside, they'll try to set a fire on the inside and hope you're the one holding the match. That's how low they're willing to go, and that's how calculated this really is. You see, chosen ones move different. You carry light, yes, power, absolutely. But you're still human. You bleed, you break. You've got wounds that never fully closed. Some from childhood, some from betrayal, some from battles you never even told anyone about. And that's where they aim. Not at your strengths. No, they aim at your scars, because they know if they press hard enough, you might forget who you are, even for a second. And that second, that's all they need. They'll identify your emotional soft spots and twist them into weapons. Insecure about being good enough? They'll plant seeds of doubt in every conversation. Afraid of abandonment? They'll ghost you just long enough to make you feel disposable. Battling imposter syndrome? They'll question your worth in subtle jabs, always disguised as helpful feedback. Their tactics don't come with red flags. They come dressed as concern, as love, as mentorship. But don't be fooled. There's a dagger beneath the smile. They're not just watching your moves, they're watching your hesitations. They're studying your energy, waiting for the moment you hesitate so they can push, waiting for that crack in your armor so they can drive a wedge between you and your vision. That's the game. And it's dirty. But this is why self-awareness is your shield. Because once you know your weaknesses, really know them, you stop being afraid of them. You stop hiding them and start owning them. You start saying, yeah, I've got scars, but I'm still standing. I've got fears, but they don't paralyze me. I've got wounds, but I've turned them into wisdom. That's where your power is. Not in pretending to be invincible, but in being unstoppable, even when you're cracked. Understand this. Your weaknesses only become weapons if you hand them over. So start protecting your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Guard your peace. Be mindful of who gets access to your vulnerable spaces. Not everyone deserves to know your battles. Not everyone can be trusted with your raw truth. Chosen ones often attract broken souls, not because they need to be fixed, but because your strength exposes what they've buried. Some come to grow with you, others come to feed off you. Learn the difference and surround yourself intentionally with the right people. Not just good vibes only, folks. Not just cheerleaders, but warriors, mirrors, people who see the real you and won't let you fall into your own blind spots. These are the ones who say, I see you struggling, but I know who you are, and we're not backing down now. That's the kind of circle that turns pain into prophecy. That's how you stay unshakable, even when the enemy studies your every move. And don't get it twisted. Just because they found your weak spot doesn't mean they've won. It just means they're desperate. They couldn't touch your fire, so now they want to dim your inner flame. But here's the plot twist. Every time they try to exploit your weakness, they reveal how powerful it actually is. Why else would they obsess over it? You've got to shift your mindset. Your flaws, they're part of your fingerprint, your doubts, proof that you're reaching beyond your limits. Your fears, they're only loud because your next level is even louder. So don't run from them. Use them. Get intimate with them. Because once you master what's inside, nothing outside can touch you. And if you're reading this thinking, but I don't know where I'm vulnerable, good. That's the beginning. Take time, get quiet, journal it, reflect, and most importantly, be honest. Stop pretending you're fine when you're not. Stop bottling up emotions that only grow teeth in the dark. You're not less chosen because you're healing. You're more chosen because you're doing the work others avoid. When you do that, when you face your own cracks without shame, you become something they can't handle. A chosen one who knows their power, knows their pain, and knows how to turn both into purpose. That's a threat the enemy can't silence. That's a force that doesn't just survive, it dominates. So let them study you. Let them wait. Let them hope you'll crumble. Because while they're busy plotting your fall, you're learning to fly with scars for wings. Number 6. When they can't touch your path, they try to blind your spirit. They didn't attack your habits, they attacked your peace. Because peace is the one thing they can't fake, and the one thing you wear like armor. If you're chosen, your spiritual growth isn't just a side quest, it's the mission. It's what keeps you centered while the world around you spins with chaos. It's what grounds you when the voices get loud and the path gets blurry. It's what fuels your intuition, your inner knowing, your power to discern what's real and what's noise. And because of that, make no mistake, it's going to be attacked. Hard. They know they can't stop your purpose outright. They can't unchoose you, but they'll come for the one thing that keeps you aligned with your power, your connection to the universe, to your higher path, to your inner self. They'll launch spiritual warfare so silent and so calculated that if you're not paying attention, you'll think you're just tired, burnt out, or unmotivated. But that's the design. Disconnect the signal, and the vessel starts drifting. Negative people. They'll mock your growth. They'll throw side eyes at your meditation. They'll laugh at your stillness. They'll label your awakening as weird, fake, or too deep. Why? Because your elevation exposes their stagnation. Because your inner clarity feels like a threat to their noisy confusion. They want to see you doubt your light so they can feel better sitting in their shadow. They'll challenge your beliefs not out of curiosity, but out of fear. They'll try to drag you back into the version of yourself that was easier to control, easier to manipulate, easier to label. And it's not just individuals, the entire system is built to starve your spirit. You wake up to a world that glorifies the external: status, money, followers, appearance. Hustle culture tells you rest is weakness. Productivity is worshipped. Silence is suspicious. Every billboard, every algorithm, every social expectation is wired to pull your attention outward. Why? Because a distracted chosen one is a powerless chosen one. They want your schedule packed, your thoughts noisy, your soul dehydrated. Because when you're disconnected from your inner voice, you become easier to manipulate. You settle for less. You accept relationships that shrink you. You pursue goals that don't feed your spirit. You live out stories that were never yours to begin with. That's not a life. That's a slow death dressed up as success. But here's the shift. You don't grow spiritually by running from the attack. You grow by recognizing it and still choosing your path anyway. You grow by seeing the distractions, feeling the weight, hearing the mockery, and saying, "Not today. I've got something bigger to connect with." That's real power. That's chosen energy. To the chosen one who's been feeling distant, like you've lost touch with your spirit, this is your wake-up call. The fog isn't random. The doubts you've been hearing aren't yours. That heaviness in your chest, that spiritual fatigue, it's not weakness. It's warfare. And the moment you recognize that, the spell breaks. You've got to reclaim your rituals. Get back to your grounding. Whether that's meditation, solitude, nature, reflection, or silence, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. This world will try to shame you out of what heals you. Don't let it. Protect your spiritual practices like sacred territory, because that's exactly what it is. You wouldn't leave your home's door open to thieves. Don't leave your spirit wide open to distractions and doubters. And when people belittle your growth, don't explain yourself. Don't waste breath trying to translate your path into a language small minds will never speak. Some people aren't meant to understand your peace. Some people aren't meant to witness your transformation. You're not crazy, you're becoming. And that makes them uncomfortable. There's a reason why everything feels louder when you're getting closer to your higher self. It's because the world around you senses it, and not everything around you wants you free. Your growth is a threat to every lie you used to believe. And some people were only close to you because of who you were before the glow-up. So when the attacks come, don't retreat. Realign, reconnect, go deeper. Your spiritual strength isn't a luxury, it's your shield, your compass, your power source. Without it, you're just reacting to life. With it, you're directing it. Chosen one, don't ever let this world convince you that your inner journey isn't real, that your stillness isn't strength, that your connection to something greater is just a phase. The ones who mock your growth are terrified by it, because while they chase noise, you carry knowing. While they perform for approval, you move with purpose. Let them laugh. You're building something eternal. Let them doubt. You're walking with the universe. Let the world try to distract you. Just remember, they can attack your practice, your pace, your peace, but they will never own your path. This is your reminder. Your growth is not up for debate. Your spirit is not for sale. And your mission, it continues, with or without their understanding. Number 7. You were the weapon they never saw coming. They tried to break you, not knowing you were built from the very storms they feared. After everything, they failed. After the lies, the sabotage, the isolation, the spiritual warfare, they still failed. And not just because you're strong, not just because you endured, but because you hold something they will never understand, a power that was built into you, not borrowed, not manufactured, not inherited, something that can't be faked, replicated, or stolen, something that terrifies those who live in illusion, authentic power. This is the part of the story where you stop surviving and start owning. Because the truth is, you were never just surviving. Every trial was forging something inside you, something they couldn't touch. They thought they were attacking you, but they were really feeding the fire in your core. You became stronger because of them, not in spite of them. Every time they whispered, you learned to hear your own voice louder. Every time they pushed you down, you learned how to rise without help. Every door they closed taught you how to build your own. You are not just unshaken, you are undeniable. And that's not arrogance, that's alignment. That's what happens when you stop doubting what was placed inside of you and start walking in it. You were never meant to crumble. You were meant to be tempered, like steel in the fire. And now that you're here, standing tall, clear-eyed, and locked into your purpose, there's no turning back. The power within you isn't something you need to activate. It's been waiting for you to notice. It's not loud. It doesn't beg for attention. It simply is. Quiet, constant, unshakable. And the second you tap into it, really tap into it, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your presence changes the temperature in a room. People look at you and can't quite explain what they feel. That's not ego. That's frequency. You are walking proof that survival isn't the end goal. Elevation is. They couldn't destroy you because they didn't create you. Your worth isn't tied to their acceptance. Your path isn't subject to their opinions. Their rejection didn't dent your calling. It confirmed it. And whether they admit it or not, they felt your power long before you did. That's why they came for you. That's why they studied you. That's why they threw everything they had at you and still walked away confused at why it didn't work. What they didn't understand is that you don't just get back up. You rise transformed. Every setback sharpened your mind. Every betrayal clarified your vision. Every dark night built a deeper relationship with the universe that chose you. That connection, it's not decorative, it's strategic. It's the reason you're still moving, still building, still healing, still growing. You've got to understand, when the universe chooses you, it doesn't send you empty-handed. It gives you a mission, a fire, an armor that looks invisible to others but makes you unbreakable to every force that rises against you. That's why you've endured what others couldn't survive. That's why you keep breaking ceilings they thought would hold you forever. This power inside you, it's the reason their plans always fall short. Because they're fighting what they can see, but your real strength is what they can't. They see your silence as weakness, but inside that silence is strategy. They see your patience as passivity, but inside that patience is precision. They see your kindness as naivety, but inside that kindness is a warrior who only strikes when it's time to end it. Chosen one, your very existence is disruption. You're a mirror that reflects everything fake and fractured in those around you. You don't need to argue. You don't need to defend. Just being you shakes the ground under their feet. But don't forget, the war was never about proving your power. It was about realizing it. The hardest battles weren't meant to destroy you. They were meant to reveal you, and now you've seen it, you've felt it. There's no going back. This isn't the part where you beg for peace. This is the part where you command it. This isn't the part where you question if you're strong enough. This is the part where you remember you were born for this. You are the storm they swore would never form. You are the light they tried to dim in silence. You are the force they couldn't touch, even when they had the chance. Let them talk. Let them watch. Let them wonder how you're still rising. Because the answer is simple. The power in you was never theirs to stop. And now that you've embraced it, they'll never recover from the force you've become. Number 8. The universe keeps the receipts, and karma never forgets a name. They thought they got away with it, didn't they? The lies, the betrayal, the sabotage. But what they never realized is that the universe doesn't miss. Not a move, not a motive, not a moment. Every intention, every action, every seed planted is accounted for. That's not just belief. That's law, universal law, and it doesn't bend for anyone. You, chosen one, don't need revenge. You don't need to fight dirty. You don't need to match their low frequency. Why? Because the universe is already in motion. Karma doesn't need an audience. It shows up when it's time. It hits when they least expect it. And it teaches in ways no words ever could. Your job? Keep moving, keep growing, keep rising, even when it hurts, even when it feels unfair. Because the very path you're walking, covered in setbacks, betrayal and pain, is the same path leading to your becoming. The universe is on your side, not in theory, but in truth. It's been aligning every storm to sharpen you, every delay to protect you, every detour to redirect you to higher ground. That's how chosen ones are shaped, not in comfort, but in chaos. So let them laugh now, let them gloat, let them think they've won. Because when karma spins the block, they'll realize the universe always delivers, and it never, ever loses track. And now, as we bring this message to a close, remember this. They tried everything, but you're still standing, not by accident, not by luck, but because you were built for this. Every attack only confirmed your purpose. Every setback only sharpened your rise. This was never about them. It was always about you realizing who you are. If this message spoke to your spirit, like the video, subscribe for more, and drop the number 77 in the comments to declare that you're done shrinking. And don't keep this to yourself. Share it with another chosen one who needs to wake up to their power.